The Twins' starting rotation depth is a little bit like the story Goldilocks and the Three TC Bears. Is there too little? Is there a surplus? Or is it just right? Find out, maybe, and have some porridge after getting Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Locked On Twins, your daily go-to source for the top Minnesota Twins insight, discourse, and analysis. Personally, it's my favorite show of the Imperial Locked On Podcast Network, which, by the way, brings you your team every day. So don't forget, hit like and subscribe where applicable. I'm Dave Brown, an MLB writer who's always been told it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But the real answer is it's complicated. I'm also a BBWA member and a Hall of Fame voter. Across the great plains of cyberspace is Brandon Warne, who always starts the day with a fresh haircut. I'm just giving a hard time and beating a dead horse. Can someone take this horse corpse away, by the way? Anyway, Brandon was a Twins fan who became a Twins writer, and now he's both. I haven't said that in a while. You can find Brandon's written work at Access Twins, the newsletter, and you can find mine at Pitcher List. On this podcast, we're going to talk about what I said we're going to talk about, looking ahead to the Twins' starting pitching depth chart in 2026. Do they have enough guys? Do they have too many? Or as we like to say in the trading people business, a surplus? Do they have just the right amount? Off the top of my head, it's kind of a difficult question to answer, but we're going to give it a shot looking at who's there and who's not and who might be and who they should bring in and who they shouldn't bring in and all that other stuff. But first, we want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code Locked On MLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Do it now. Brandon, the Twins starting rotation. I like it. I liked it maybe before Taj Bradley and Mick Abel's last starts, but then I realized it's just one start, and they're working on stuff and be patient and all that. I think my first impression of the Twins rotation in 2026 is that no matter who's on it, based on what we know who's possibly on it, it's going to be a strength of the team. I really think that. I think it's going to be really good. Do you feel the same way?
Well, I think we have to note immediate caveats. The old adage is you can never have too much pitching, or how much pitching do you need? The answer is always more. So we're not exactly operating under the first as like, oh, it's an absurdity of riches and they've got to trade guys to clear a logjam. It's not that. Also, we can't ignore the elephant in the room that they could trade one or the other. It's next to the horse you beat. No, that's my train of thought. We can't ignore the fact that they could actually trade Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, or both. And so a lot will have to do with the direction of the team and what we see this offseason, because another thing we can look at as kind of an offshoot too is they like to kind of play in that free agent market of like trying to fix a guy. Andrew Heaney to me comes to mind. So we'll keep maybe an eye on that too. There's a few guys, maybe a post hype Eric Fetty. But this is a long-winded way of saying we don't necessarily believe they have too much starting pitching, but like where do they fall in that galaxy is I think what we're trying to ascertain today.
Yeah, I've sort of put them in, and you can see on your screen if you are looking. If you're just listening, then you can't see. I've got 3 tiers, and not like of a clown. 3 tiers, 3 sections, 3 whatevers of Twins pitchers. The first tier probably is Pablo and Joe, but I've also put Zebby up there because I'm very optimistic about Zebby. I like what I see. I think we're going to find that those 3 guys are going to be the 3 best pitchers next season. I'm really sure about this. I think
Zebby, not to steal your thunder.
Oh, take it.
Your room's already pretty full. I think Zebby is showing the peripheral stuff that you need to see to say, listen, a lot of guys have a bumpy first trip around the league. There's a reason to believe he can be in this case, the our understood number 3 starter next year. The bigger question or the bigger issue is if you trade one or both of those guys, suddenly you've got Zebby probably starting game 2, and that's assuming you don't also trade Bailey Ober. Now, again, I've kind of railed on the point that I don't think trading one or the other, or especially both of them, makes a lot of sense, because I still feel this organization owes it to Byron Buxton to put a capable team around him. I don't think there's any reason to hit the full reset button. I think they have enough young pitching. And the other thing, too, part of this exercise is, I think, conceding that whatever good we can say about this rotation, they have nothing in the bullpen. Like, Cole Sands, actually, he threw his fastest pitch of the year, but they don't have like those cornerstones coming in. Like, Sands has looked better. Copa's looked pretty good. I think even Thomas Hatch, you could at least keep on the roster over the offseason. Not going to bump him off unless you make a bunch of moves. But knowing fully that this bullpen will probably get a lot of this trickle down from whoever doesn't make the rotation, I think that's an important thing to note in this conversation, is that we're fully aware of all of these dynamics.
And, I can't remember. I was frightened by the elephant in the room before, and the dead horse. Yeah. But the direction that the team goes, that's going to go a long way into answering this question. Like,
yeah,
are they really going to trade? I don't see them trading Pablo.
No.
But I also feel like if the market had been different at the trade deadline, that they might have traded Joe Ryan this year. That's one of those things that I'm convinced of.
Few of those Red Sox prospects, by the way, that were in that rumored deal have debuted recently, or I think Peyton Toll, is that the pitcher's name, is slated to maybe come up and pitch Friday, like big league debut. So between the dictionary cat, the young outfielder, and is it just Stinkson? I still haven't figured out.
Yeah, I always think of Frost Nixon when David Frost and Richard Nixon
or Trot Nixon if you're really wanting to be slavish to the Red Sox portion. But a lot of those guys have gotten to the major leagues. I think knowing what we know now about what teams maybe, especially the Red Sox, were willing to offer, maybe that marketplace does firm up this offseason, and the market is not exactly crazy top heavy. I'm looking at it right now. So maybe if Joe Ryan seems preferable to the top end of the market here, that drives the value up. But again, the Twins are so prospect loaded right now, and I don't necessarily mean loaded like number one farm system. I think I saw the Mets in the most recent Kylie McDaniel drop, and Twins were top 10 someplace. They don't need to overload with prospects, because at some point you just have too many to sort through. And again, not that guys don't atrophy or whatever, but at some point it's just hard to have that many, keep them on your 40-man roster and give them all a fair crack. I mean, don't you agree?
Yeah, no, we don't need to.
We need 2 more shortstops and a guy who can play center in a deal. Like, at some point, it's just you got what you need, or if you don't, you're probably going to be out of a job pretty soon.
Fort Myers and Wichita and St. Paul have enough kids coming through.
Yeah.
What are they going to do about the major league roster? Now, I look at the rest of before we go to our break, I look at the rest of the AL Central, and I'm just not that overwhelmed with what the Twins can do in one offseason to get back on top of it. I don't see the Tigers running away with anything next year. I see Cleveland as being regressive for all the improvement that the White Sox made. And how could you not improve on 41 wins or whatever it was? Yeah. There's still 40 games almost under 500.
And I think like 11 games clear of the Twins in the standings still, with how badly the Twins have played lately. Like, that closing the gap to still that far away, it shows you they've still got a ways to go.
Yeah, they sure do. And I I don't know that the Royals have positioned themselves to be that much better than they are right now.
Not particularly, no.
They've got Bobby Witt has played MVP-ish baseball in the second half, and that's one reason why they're contending. But they're still a couple games over 500 and nothing more. There isn't that much, that's sort of why I feel that, if nothing else, is why you don't trade Joe Ryan right now and you ride him, and Pablo the same way. And but of course, if they are intent on doing a harder reset, then this question about, well, what's the Twins pitching rotation like for 2026? It's not who cares. That's not the answer. But I'm thinking, can you win a couple playoff series with the guys that they have? And I think my first answer is, right now, yeah, absolutely.
With the guys they have right now, yeah,
yes.
Assuming no trades or dumping them.
Yes. I mean, and looking ahead to what those guys, like how much better Zebby will be at this time next year. And
probably Festa.
Yeah, Abel and Taj being better than they are now. So
and some of those guys will trickle down into the bullpen. I mean, I could see SWR being a nasty eighth inning reliever 1 year from today on a Twins team that is right where they want to be. I can see that.
We'll talk about that when we come back from our commercial break. How about that?
Well, hey, Locked On Twins fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play Store right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's completely legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, easy for me to say, or even get a free gift card for Amazon or other key brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON, like baseball season, for a limited time 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Disclaimer, offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Locked On Twins has returned for Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Brandon and I are talking about what the Twins rotation with what they have right now looks like and how confident we are in it going into 2026. I've put the players into pitchers, the starting pitchers, potential starting pitchers, into three tiers. I've got Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, and Zebby Matthews in the first tier. I'm being a little cart before the horse with Zebby, but I'm optimistic. My second tier is Mick Abel, Taj Bradley, Bailey Ober, David Festa, and SWR.
Can I throw just one thing in there too?
What?
Like the one thing too we don't know about budget wise, like we're talking about if they trade guys, but we should also too consider they could add a guy or two as well. I'm not expecting like Framber Valdez or anything, but that's another part of the calculus is maybe they go sign a German Marquez or someone like that, a bounce back type, or Tyler Mahle if his shoulder injury is adequately Googled. But I just want to not ignore that that's part of the calculus too that we got to have here.
Right. Well, I don't have any of those guys listed because they're not on the roster, but right. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitchers in the first two tiers. So you need 5 starting pitchers. I mean, you probably need more. Sometimes you need more than that. But I think that's a decent
15
start.
This year they've had.
Sure. And then the third tier is the Utes, with Connor Prelip being maybe at the forefront there, but also thinking he seems to me to be a likely bullpen person.
Same with Marco Raya. As much as I think he's got the stuff, I think those guys both profile / preview better in shorter bunches, bursts, that sort of thing.
Right. But, going into an off season, if you have Pablo, Joe, and Zebby at the top, and then a list of 5 guys, 6 guys in the next tier. That gives you some comfort as far as the depth goes. That if you look at all of them, there's something that needs to be worked out. I wonder, I guess, working backwards with the tier 2 group, SWR seems more and more to me like a relief choice, although it's not like he came out of the gates blazing in his last start. And, I don't know what that illness was that sidelined him, but I feel like it set him back a little bit, maybe mentally or routine in terms of that. I don't know if there's like a physical hangover, but it seems like, he's still kind of searching for the SWR that we were seeing before he got sick. So I'm not sure how much we should be taking these recent results into effect. David Festa, I believe, is starting a rehab assignment. If he hasn't already, it's going to be today or tomorrow. So there's that. The mystery of Bailey Ober. It looked like maybe he was coming out of it a bit in recent starts, but then the velocity in his last start, I think, was the shortest of his career. The worst of his career. I actually pulled that research nugget for Twins.tv, so I was pretty proud of that one. Brandon, so Bailey Ober's lost velocity is credited to Brandon. my misfortune, his misfortune is my great success. Great success. And they're still working on Taj Bradley's changeup slash splitter. But I mean, if he doesn't gain a third pitch, if SWR doesn't gain a third pitch, if Festa can't, that's reliever stamp, like boom. So that's the nice thing is there are guys with things to work on, but if they don't get those, you probably still have a pretty good chance at a solid reliever. Ober doesn't seem, I mean, that's a different problem with Ober, but Ober does not seem like a relief pitcher. It seems like he'd be like John Roush out there, like big beard instead of tattoos. And he, all of a sudden, if you haven't seen him before, he just unleashes the ball from 3 feet away and it just putters to the plate. So I don't know. I feel like Ober, we're not talking about a lot of velocity in the first place, right? But just the difference for him, and his command, he's not. And I don't know if those two problems are related, having less velocity and not being able to hit his spots with certain pitches. But he's not doing either of those. Well, you don't want both of those to hit at the same time, that's for sure. Well, and we see it looks like two people are hitting at the same time when he's out on the mound. That would explain this last line. It would. So. The more I talk about these guys, I'm like, well, that guy has a problem and that guy has an issue and this is going on. To be clear, though, a lot of teams 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are going to have like virtually similar question marks. It's equal parts like, oh, hey, everybody's got this issue. And then, oh, yeah, baseball. They chew up and spit out your pitchers, and suddenly you're starting Thomas Hatch, who was in AAA 2 months ago. Like, it's just the attrition of pitching is so hard to fully understand. And at the same time, you can definitely tell when there are people who are Twins fans and Twins fans only who don't understand the attrition rate of pitching league wide. The Twins are going to need these guys, and this is a good spot to be in, even with these question marks. One thing you mentioned something earlier. I have it in my head. Maybe I need to get over this. That the Twins are still in as far as spending money and payroll, and that they're still in a regressive austerity mode. Meant to bring that up too. So I'm glad you did. Yeah. You're like, well, maybe Herman Marquez could be signed or someone like that. Yeah. And that, that wouldn't be, I don't know how much that would cost. Maybe, is there like a Ty France acquisition of pitchers out there for them to add to the rotation? Mike Soroka, Cal Quantrill, maybe Jordan. No, Jordan Montgomery's the undead. I don't know. I mean, Kenta Maeda. that would be it right there. Gosh. Hendricks, just so Luke Keeschel can beat him up. But getting back to the ownership question about the limited partners that they've brought on, right? What does that mean that they will be able to spend some more money? because they've got that in cash infusion, or is that just to make up for the losses of the last 5 years?
Right. Does it signal a willingness to actually put that back towards the budget, or was it more along the lines of, hey, these guys are joining the party. Sorry, the party's still going to be cheap. It's going to be PBR and peanut butter sandwiches. No, but
PB&J? Yeah.
PBR, and then watching PBA on the PBS. No, I don't know what what we're to believe. That's why I'm like, even if we thought they were going to spend the Correa money, and we don't know how much they're going to consider retained. If you consider that first year, like there'll be obviously ramifications for the CBA, but are they going to say, oh, we're paying Correa this year, so figure that into the general concept of how much they're going to spend too? Like there's so many wrinkles that even if you or I knew half of them, we still couldn't put together really like a cogent plan for how this offseason will go.
And I wonder, and this isn't going to make people feel good, if the Twins actually know like what they're doing based on this and other issues within the organization.
Well, and the counter is, if those issues are still bad, we're talking about these two starting pitchers out of here. Forget signing somebody. Right. They're going to go with the babies. They're going to go with the 1999 Twins in the rotation.
Did you? We haven't really talked about the Charlie Waters column, but now they're not going to sell until after the
CBA.
After the CBA is done, and there's then possibly including a lockout in that.
Isn't there a rumor that people expect franchise values to go kind of bonkers after that, and maybe that's what the speculation is? I don't know.
I think that's sort of what the owners are trying to get at. I don't know if there is a reality based on this wish of theirs, but the whole, we can get a salary cap. So then cost certainty will be more certain. And that way franchise values will go up. I think that's like, I want to call it a fairy tale that they're saying to themselves.
It's the height of delusion, I think.
Yes. So, that might be a story that's going around. Yes, that's true. I've got a story that's going around, and it's that we need a commercial break again. And then when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about these Minnesota Twins, these darn Twins.
Listen up. We have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. So go to lockedonpodcasts.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Who wouldn't like one of those? Again, that's lockedonpodcasts.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thank you for helping us out. And of course, we love Game Time. If you've ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with your friends or family, especially now, pretty good chance you can get into the ballpark with a whole bunch of friends, and it's going to be pretty much you and the crickets. But maybe it's game day and suddenly you realize you want to be in the stands, bring some friends with. That's exactly where Game Time comes into play. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the added stress. Plus, with the money you save on tickets, you could spend extra on food, drinks, merch, even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Plus, the prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch or kickoff. We got football coming up too. And they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. And again, I love these seat views. I want to know exactly what I'm looking at the concert, at the baseball game, at the football game. You name it. You want to know what you're going to be looking at, and they take care of it for you. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Locked On Twins is back. Before we get into our final segment, we want to make sure that you are subscribed to Locked On Twins because you get stuff with that.
You can do that here too.
That's right. You don't miss any of the great Twins content that we've got for you. That includes the Twins postcast, typically with Luke Inman, sometimes with Brandon, after the final out of every game. That way, when you get subscribed to Locked On Twins, you get 2 shows for the price of 1, and it's all actually free. So when we say the price of 1, that price is 0. So Locked On Twins, subscribe right now. I'll wait a moment. Go ahead. Subscribe now. Okay, good. Thank you. Good work. We're going over the starting pitchers that are on the roster right now, trying to suss out what the Twins' rotation depth might look like for 2026. They're in 3 tiers. The third tier is basically the youths with Connor Prelip, who's working himself out in the minor leagues right now. Marco Raya. Every time I see Marco Raya, he's gone, 2 1/3 innings and struck out 3 and walked none and had a good game. And yet I see his ERA is 5.99. So
it was about 9 something, I think, a month or 2 ago. So he's making progress. But yeah, it's been a bumpy ride for young Mr. Raya.
That's a guy I think we'll probably see compete more maybe for a bullpen spot next year. But they brought him. They had him in spring training in the big league camp this year. For a while. It really didn't come to anything. I think there was an injury and something else, and but that's a guy. Travis Adams has been in and off and on the roster. Pearson Ole just got sent back to the minors.
When those guys are on special plans, they're not doing that for no reason at all. I wonder how they figure in too. If it's that way we have a guy who can go 3 innings in relief every now and then if we get a short start. I don't know what that plan is, but they have to factor in somehow.
So, but those guys have all, be it majors or minors, have shown something from time to time that is kind of intriguing for the long term. Prelip was better in the lower minors than he's been lately, but he's also coming toward the end of his first season, basically, in the minors. So I don't know if he's got a little fatigue going on or what, but that's a guy I think long-term could be a starter with the Twins, but maybe next year in the bullpen. Andrew Morris started out poorly and hurt and has come on and has been better. So we'll see how he goes the rest of the season. Kendry Rojas is another name. And I have Corey Lewis on this list too of possibilities, but Kendry Rojas has been pitching really well since coming over in the trade. So
just a tough year for Corey Lewis, by the way. Real shame too, because he's a fun prospect.
He is. Rojas is a guy who's been described as maybe typical stuff, average stuff, but really good execution and location. And as a left-hander, I see. You see guys like, and this is getting ahead of ourselves, but you see someone like Martin Perez on the White Sox pitching really well. Jose Quintana. If you can do it, if you can locate with average stuff, you can be really good in this league for a long time. So maybe that is a kind of a long-term lazy comp to put Kendry Rojas on. But again, next year, a left-handed arm in the pen, maybe to start out. I don't know. So we'll see how he. I am encouraged by this depth. These names here. These last few names, not really anybody I'm talking about to get excited about leading a pitching staff in 2026, but depth pieces, and they traded a whole chunk of the bullpen at the deadline. As everybody knows, they're going to have to get new relief pitchers from somewhere, and it's not just going to be signing. Putting a whole bunch. At least I hope it isn't. Danny
Coulomb and Caleb Thielbar, you are both
back.
Come on down.
I mean, it wouldn't
be shocking.
It wouldn't shock me, but
no, of course not. It's going to be a free for all. It's like if you think the rotation battle is like one of those quintessential old timey spring training battles. Boy, the bullpen might be an actual Royal Rumble, which is funny because spring training is right around the time of the real Royal Rumble. So sometimes art imitates life or vice versa.
Can Art pitch? What's he? How many innings can we get out of Art, Brandon?
Oh, how great thou art. Art is actually the name of the guy who did at least preside over the press box. So very deep cut there.
At down
Target Field.
Spring training?
No, at Target Field.
Oh, at Target Field. Is he still with us?
I'm not sure. I haven't been back in a while. So
Why don't you go back? You should go.
I should.
You should get your credential and get down there and say, hey.
Irrelevant local man attempts to get credential. News at 9.
That's an inside reference. All right, we're gonna leave you now, but we want to remind you, college football fans, it's another big moment on Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. That actually sounds like a lot of fun. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson. That's big time right there.
Mm-hmm.
Former college star Jesse Holley and Locked On's local experts. So you get the local side, you get the regional side, you get the national side. A college football preview only Locked On can do. So catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. Fire! Fire! It's college football. Fire! 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 So that wraps up this episode of Locked On Twins. For Brandon Warne, I'm Dave Brown, wishing you all a very pleasant good evening, saying we will Alexei Casilla tomorrow night.